Hi friends, I'm going to read you a book, but first I hope you had a chance to watch the video about making connections. There are 3 different ways to make connections. We can read a book and have text to self, which is when the book reminds us about our own experiences, our own prior knowledge of what we already know. There's text to text, so you can actually compare what goes on in one book and it might remind you of what happens in another book. And there's text to world, when you read a book and it reminds you of something you heard about or read about in the news, something that's going on in the world. So I want to think about making those connections as we read this book called Know David. It's written by David Shannon. Think about what you already know and what this book reminds you of. Oh, and it won a Caldecott Honor Medal, which means it's a special book. Know David by David Shannon. David's mom always said, "No, David." No, David. Does that remind you of a time when maybe you were doing something and you had to be told no? No, David, no. Oh dear. It looks like he walked through the living room and got mud everywhere. No, no, no. Wow, is he making a mess in that bathtub? Did that ever happen to you? Come back here, David. It looks like he forgot his clothes. David, be quiet. Now, I'm pretty sure that we've all been in that situation before. Maybe when our parents were on the phone or having a conversation and we were making too much noise. That's what it reminds me about. Don't play with your food. It's not nice manners, right? Oh boy, looks like he forgot to chew with his mouth closed. And nobody wants to see the food inside of our mouths when we're talking. So that's enough, David. I think we've all heard that before. Oh, go to your room. Well, now he's told, settle down. He's jumping on that bed and making quite a commotion up there in his room. I remember being told to settle down when I was supposed to go to sleep and it was quiet time. Oh boy, stop that this instant. You know what he's doing. Ew! Put your toys away. I remember being told that, and I think every one of us have been told that before. Oh no, not in the house, David. I know what could happen. Oh, it happened. It looks like the ball broke the vase, made a terrible mess. And look where he's sitting. It looks like he's being punished. It says, I said no, David. Davy, come here. Yes, David, I love you. And that reminds me about my mom being so loving and forgiving, even though I made mistakes. And we get to hug, and she reminds me that she still loves me. And that's why I love that story, because it reminds us about how we're not perfect and we make mistakes. I certainly have. And I was so glad. It's such a good feeling when my mom would just wrap me in her arms and forgive me, and all was well again. So that is making connections, boys and girls. Now you can work on that worksheet and make some text to self connections yourself. I can't wait to see it.